In today's lesson, we're going to work through some simple interest, and we're going to talk first about buying a new car. The first question asks, have you ever dreamed of buying your first car? Hopefully you have, and we might talk about in class what your dream first car might be. But we're going to talk through the cost of cars a little bit, and it might change your mind about what kind of car you want to start out with, because they can get a little bit expensive, especially when we talk about what we call interest. So suppose you want to buy a used car that costs $4,000. You can pay $400 now and borrow the remaining $3,600. To pay off the loan, you will need to pay $131.50 each month for the next 36 months. How much money will you pay in all for the car? Well, we start with $400, and we're going to add $400 to $131.50 times 36 months, because that's how much we're going to pay each month for the next 36 months. So order of operations would say I have to multiply first. 131 5/10 times 36 is $4,734. We're going to add that to our original $400 that we paid up front. So I can use my calculator, and I get an answer of $5,134. So our $4,000 car now all of a sudden costs us $5,000 or $5,134 because we couldn't pay for it all up front. So how much will it cost you to borrow money for the car? That's really what's happening here. We had to borrow, and so we had to pay what they call interest, because we borrowed from the bank, and we told the bank, yeah, we'll pay you some money for letting us borrow. So to get how much will it cost you to borrow, we have to take how much we're going to pay, $5,134, minus the $4,000 that it actually costs, and that's how much we have to pay the bank in interest. $1,134 is the cost of borrowing the money that we needed to pay off the car. And so if you open up your foldable at the top, it talks about, or it shows you this first part, it shows you the formula for simple interest. In simple interest, the formula says I equals PRT. So I is my interest. That's equal to my principal, which is my starting rate, or I'm sorry, my starting value. In our last example, that would have been the $4,000 that we started with. Our rate is our percent written as a decimal. So R stands for rate, which is our percent written as a decimal. And then T stands for time. And time should always be in years. Remember that there are 12 months in a year. So interest is the amount that it costs us to borrow the money. It's the amount the bank or whoever is loaning us money is going to charge us. Principal is that starting amount. Rate is a percent written as a decimal, and T stands for time in years. Remember that there are 12 months in a year. So I equals PRT. That means we're multiplying all three of these things, principal, rate, and time, to get our interest. And that's what we're going to do in the next couple examples in the next couple videos.